you. Africa says thank you.
For sure,
Thank you.
for sure.
For sure. Thank
Let the sister come in, see what she want me to ask. What's going on with your soul sister number one?
How did I know you were gonna have me in here? That's funny. So recently, I just kind of had to say this. Recently, okay, well, I'm an artist first off, and I've been getting a lot of like downloads through my art. Like what I've noticed is like my art has like a foreshadowing effect. So like it's been like a lot of downloads regarding portals or like eyes or like what's the word? What else? It's been a couple of things or like just a couple of situations that I've been like putting together kind of like.
So when you do performing your art, you channeling the what they call Shakti energy, divine feminine,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're gonna always get spirit messages in anything that's artistic.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can actually look at pictures people write and see something entirely different than the rest of the world.
Oh yeah,
Because
definitely.
I'll read it like a tarot card where other people look at it, oh, that's a beautiful scenery. I like how the ocean smashed against the rocks or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But I'm reading it like a tarot card because it's a projection that came from the subconscious mind and it was guided by the energy of Shakti.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So now when I'm looking at it, I'm reading the subconscious mind, Shakti, and it's translating what spirit is saying through this person is this.
Okay.
So each one of your pictures tell a different story.
Right. Recently, even what you were talking about, like, I don't know, because I know you live, what, like 30 minutes from me. And the other day, even like, I was in the
You in
car with my
Detroit.
friend. Huh?
You in Detroit.
Metro Detroit, like the outside of Detroit
You
or
know where
whatever.
Pontiac at, right?
Uh-huh. My
Oh,
dad work
that's
out
in
there.
it.
And even what they did to Pontiac was the way, mm, this whole everything is just crazy. But I was in the car with my friend the other day and we just driving or whatever and we hear this noise, like this weird, crazy, like extraterrestrial sounding noise, and we both just look up and we like, what? And then we kind of like later on that night, it was just like a lot of things in the sky that we were just noticing and stuff like that. And we both heard this like loud boom. And I remember when you were on live with Amani a while ago, and you kind of when you called me that day, and I was talking about how, or you were talking about how like you kept hearing a bunch of booms
Oh,
and
that boom. Yeah, that
yeah. And the other day it happened
scared.
again, and I'm like, okay, so it's just all the synchronicities been coming up, and even what you were talking about like on the 7th. It was funny because I just started this piece today, this one right here, and it's not finished yet. But I was like, I'm gonna just finish it on the 7th. And then I tapped into your live, and you were talking about what was going on the 7th and the 8th.
Go
And
back to that picture. Let me tell you what I see.
oh,
You see the blue?
mm-hmm,
I got a video a couple months ago,
mm-hmm,
and I said that it's gonna start on the West Coast. We're gonna see a sea of blue,
mm-hmm.
and in the middle of the sea of blue, we're gonna be a river of red. It was gonna be crips on both sides, and the bees was gonna be bee walking up the middle,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you painted the picture. That's the picture that because the blue water is the crips, the red river is the bloods.
Right.
And we gonna drown their ass in bloods up to the horse's bridle with this apocalyptic fuck the police recital.
Man. Man. Even that, it's just crazy how everything been coming about. And recently I've been trying to work on, it's just this like thing of like ego, and I've been trying to like, because the more I know, it's like, okay, I don't want to be like somebody who just
Yeah, so they reporting booms in the comments from different parts of the country.
Mm-hmm.
360 around the globe with out of context weather anomalies. Like tornadoes in the winter, it's not coming. Right? The areas where it's supposed to be hot is freezing. Hailstorms. But y'all think it's coming. It's not coming. This time of year is giving you what we would call spring and fall time weather. And people think that it's normal to see it playing out the way that it's playing out. This shit is not normal. Right? They rain fish in Texas. There's blizzards in the northeast and in the northwest. It's a heat wave coming in, rolling in out the southwest. You got tropical storms coming out the southeast, converging, all of that shit over here. And people got the audacity to say that nothing's happening. Well, at this particular point, I'm sitting back watching and I'm saying to myself, this the calm before the storm. I don't know what's going to be the tipping point, but this is the calm before the storm because only thing we ain't took control of is media, right? So mainstream media is the last thing out of enemies to go. So whoever it is working for our side should probably be trying to shut that shit down, right? Because once they shut down the fake media, there's nobody to keep up the charade. That's snatching the curtain off their ass, right? So, like, I can't tell a motherfucker when shit gonna happen. I done said that 1,000,000 times. I can read it in real time as it's happening, and I can give a reasonable assumption of what this add up to in a mathematical sense. That's not prophecy. That's not giving prophecy. That don't mean I gotta always be right. And that's where motherfuckers make their mistake. They think that if any motherfucker say something, he gotta automatically be right. I can be wrong too. I don't gotta always be right. But the fact that whether I'm wrong or whether I'm right, I stand on my motherfucking convictions. My mama said, let your yes be yes and let your no's be no. So if a motherfucker don't understand what that means, then that's their problem, not mine. Right? So, I've been trying to figure out, like, what else to tell these people. What else can I tell them to do? Once I done told y'all who the kings of the land was, and y'all supposed to be pushing that agenda, but nobody's really, only certain key people pushing the agenda. Everybody else sitting on the fence, twiddling their legs, you know, flipping their thumbs. I've been laying low, watching, and I know something ain't right. I just don't know what it is. Something don't fit in the equation, right? The math is incongruent right now. So the only thing to do to make it more congruent and balance that shit out is to flip a bigger turnaround on the media, because they the ones keeping the charade going. They the ones broadcasting this bullshit from fake presidential Oval Office studios. Castle Rock, they got one on the military base. I was going over that with Rashida earlier. These motherfuckers keeping up this elaborate front. The only thing we ain't did was snatch the motherfucking curtains off the media. Get rid of them motherfuckers, take over their shit. Confiscate their shit for being an enemy to the people by feeding them the propaganda that lead them to participate in their own destruction. But y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me. Because it's the media that's playing this song and dance. Right? The artificial political elites where these motherfuckers really at, right? So they telling us this shit, but something is amiss. I can't say exactly what it is right now, but this shit's supposed to been well on the road to recovery by now. And somebody getting overzealous in their position and taking shit a little bit out of context, a little bit too far. Right? So you got to know where to draw the line at, where you supposed to stop. Where's the finish line? Motherfucker can't keep moving the finish line because it's going to make motherfuckers say, wait a minute, why the finish line keep moving? Every time we finish, then the finish line move again. That shit ain't fair. But they've been cheating the whole time, so why would they be any of a less of a cheat now? Right? They've been cheating the whole time. Right? It's just that now you can't pull the same shit on our eyes, so now you have to keep as many of us, each one teach one, from teaching another. Because the more of us to get the information out, the more we understand what we up against, the less jurisdictional authority these motherfuckers have to take us over. Right? So, if I don't speak to y'all one at a time, no, I appreciate y'all being here. I would like it better if y'all would bring more people. But hey, I ain't tripping because the shit gonna happen whether it's a little or a lot. I prefer to take a lot of us with us. I could have saved more people had they know they need saving. Right? Had they know they were tricked, I could have helped them out of the deception, out of the trickery. But because they were so thoroughly tricked, they fought against everything that I say to break them free from the trickery. Right? I got Clubhouse. I just haven't set up a room. Right? I don't really be... The thing is this. I could talk to y'all till blue in the face. It's not going to change nothing. It's not going to help nothing. The only thing going to change is if the people that I'm talking to is inspired to action from the words I speak. You know, if I get you to teach somebody the shit that I'm teaching you, showing you where to look for the information. Here's the answers. You look right here. This is the answer to the problem. Right? Some people are starting to understand what the problem is and see who the real enemy is. Right? So I be putting them, I post that shit. I don't give a fuck. If I see somebody saying the same thing, I don't have to know them motherfuckers. They telling you the exact same thing I'm telling you. So if they telling it to you, I'm telling it to you, and we don't know each other, then it might be some validity to that shit. Right? So first and foremost, the black term for the people is a chess term for the people. All of the people considered as black as the pawns on the defensive side of the chessboard, and all the people considered white is the pawns on the offensive side of the chessboard. On the defensive side of the chessboard, you don't even have to know that you're under attack. The defensive side of the chessboard consists of the indigenous people of the land. The deception being used to prevent them from ever participating in the chess game is to make them believe that they don't even have positions on the chessboard. When the real reality of it is they own the chessboard. Right? Not only do they own the chessboard, they invented the game. Once you realize you invented the game, you got to realize that the inventor of the game can't be beat using that game. Right? So he can come in late. He can come in an off position. He can come in at a bishop's angle or at a knight's L. Or he can slide across on the rook. Or he can push in any direction off a queen. But whatever it boils down to, when it comes to the grand hurrah, checkmate motherfucker, the gig is up. You have to know when you playing against them, and you got to know what they're using as a strategy to use to keep you in a subservient condition. Now, the chains are paper chains. The paper chains are the adhesion contracts. So look up adhesion contracts, right? Every time you do paperwork with the corporation, you are agreeing to follow the rules of the corporation. The corporation is not the government. The government is the people that the people pick from among themselves to be their leaders. Not the artificial electoral college puppy dog show that they tell y'all is the president, who is actually the elected CEO of the corporation by stakeholders. If you don't know what the electoral college is, you won't never know how they was able to determine who was going to be the president from the word go. Because the electorate can override the popular vote. But if they want you to think whatever they want you to think, right, then they can tell you that the popular vote is what the electors was going to do anyway. You have no way of verifying that, right? There's no agency that verifies ballots specifically should be done on its own in a society where your votes count, right? So automatically, if you was having real presidential elections, it would be an independent corporation, an independent body that would be tasked with inspecting the validity of all of the motherfucking ballots if it wasn't fixed. But it's fixed. So since it's fixed, they let the electors of the electoral college, whose vote they know who they know they're gonna vote for ahead of time, even before the election. Because part of being enrolled as an electorate in the electoral college is they have to know who you voting for. So that's how they know already who gonna win. Okay, so being separate from the corporation is taking away the artificial, what they call the de facto jurisdiction, which is actually an assumed jurisdiction acting under the color of law. Violation of the United States Code 1983. So when they acting under the color of state law, they passing themselves off with the appropriate jurisdictional appearance, but without the substance. So when you validate the illegitimate system, you telling them that you are imbecile in law, and the imbecile in law is considered dead, aka black. Right? So you black in law, which means you the ones that they are attacking anyway. How do you know this? We've been at war for 500 years. Right? In the 500-year war, they have what they call warrants. A war rant is a declaration of war that is perpetual. Every time one of us color outside the lines they draw for us, they issue a warrant in our name. But they don't issue it in the name of what we call the de jure. They are issued in the name of the de facto corporate entity they create that represents you, called a straw man. The straw man is what you call a legal fiction. That means it's created in law, but it's not real in substance. It is a de facto. The corporation known as the United States is a de facto. The people of the land in a sovereign capacity are the de jure. When you realize that you the de jure, then you got to know, well, how is they playing this game that keeps us from winning? They use the paper trap to get you to consent to their superior jurisdiction. The paper trap determines your lack of competency to handle your own affairs because you keep re-enlisting in adhesion contract after adhesion contract with a defunct corporation. It's closed now. So now you beating the dead horse trying to get it to come back to life, looking for some shit they call normal. We ain't going back to that shit. Better get Sister Tracy. See what she got on her man. When you don't do the paperwork, they can't validate the substance of their claim of you being an imbecile in law, because only an imbecile would surrender his inalienable rights for his civil liberties. Your inalienable rights override all of the civil liberties. The civil liberties are those allowances that the corporation, the civic body, the corporation acting under the pretense of government, allow you to as a member of their corporation. Your membership is determined by you recontracting with them again and again and again. And the more you recontract with them, filing nationality cards, driver's license, birth certificates, social security cards, you saying that de facto jurisdiction is more superior than your de jure jurisdiction when that's not possible, even according to their own law admission, right? Because they tell you in their law that sovereigns empower corporations to perform the functions of government. If the sovereign at any time realize that the corporation is ran amok, then the sovereign can withdraw his consent for the corporation to do business from his sovereign capacity as a 5/5 realized being and not a 3/5 Dred Scott compromised imbecile in law, right? So that's the name of the game, and that's how it works. Once you know how it works, you can mount a defense against it. But if you don't know how you work, you can't defend against it. What we would be doing if everybody knew what was going on, we would all be walking off our jobs and shut the economy down.